In 2013, when the internet was hungry for something raw and immediate, a new kind of platform emerged that would change entertainment forever. Twitter had already proven that brevity could conquer the world with its 140-character messages, and now it bet that the same principle would work for video. The result was Vine, a looping video platform that let users create 6-second masterpieces from nothing more than a smartphone and imagination. It didn't just launch an app. It launched the very people who had built Vine's empire from nothing, began to feel abandoned and exploited. They were generating billions of views and making Twitter look cool to a generation that barely used the platform otherwise. Yet they couldn't pay their rent with Vine fame alone. So they started leaving, quietly at first, then in an unstoppable flood that nobody at Twitter seemed prepared to stop. Instagram offered longer videos and significantly better brand partnership opportunities. YouTube provided actual ad revenue that creators could build careers on. Snapchat gave them ephemeral coolness and direct connection with fans. Even musical.ly, which would later become TikTok, was beginning to hum in the background with its own promise. The stars that Vine had created began to outgrow their birthplace, and Vine had absolutely nothing to offer them to make them stay. By early 2016, the exodus was undeniable and publicly humiliating. Top creators began announcing their departures on other platforms. The content quality on Vine dipped noticeably, and a few page that once felt electric now felt like a ghost town with good memories. On October 27, 2016, Twitter finally dropped the news that everyone had seen coming but nobody wanted to hear. Vine was shutting down. The app that had defined a generation of internet culture would be discontinued in the coming months. The internet reacted with a strange mixture of nostalgia and resignation. Of course it was dying. Everyone had watched it happen in slow motion, but seeing it in writing still hurt in ways that surprised people. The official closure came on January 17, 2017, and with it, the loops finally stopped looping. But stars don't simply disappear when their sky vanishes. They find new galaxies to shine in. King Bach pivoted to Instagram and then to Netflix, building a legitimate acting career that far surpassed anything Vine could have offered him. Lele Pons became a YouTube powerhouse and recording artist with millions of followers across multiple platforms. Cameron Dallas and Nash Grier launched clothing lines, went on international tours, and starred in movies. Brittany Furlan found her way into film and eventually married rock star Tommy Lee. Thomas Sanders built a massive YouTube following and continued his wholesome creative journey with an audience that stayed loyal through every platform transition. Many others weren't nearly so fortunate. For every Vine star who successfully navigated the transition to new platforms, dozens faded quietly into obscurity. Their 6-second fame had been bright, but brutally brief, and the internet's memory is cruelly short when it comes to yesterday's viral sensation. Some tried YouTube and failed to find their footing in longer-form content. Some chased TikTok stardom but couldn't recapture the magic that had made them special in Vine's unique environment. Some simply returned to normal life, carrying the strange distinction of having been briefly, intensely famous for doing absolutely nothing traditional by Hollywood standards. Vine died, but its DNA is absolutely everywhere in modern internet culture. TikTok is essentially Vine's spiritual successor, short-form video, algorithm-driven discovery, creator culture, but backed by better business sense and a Chinese tech giant's virtually unlimited resources. Every TikTok star owes something to the trail that Vine blazed through the wilderness of social media. Every brand that now pays influencers millions of dollars learned the fundamental playbook from Vine's early and often chaotic experiments. More importantly, Vine proved something fundamental about the nature of the internet itself. Attention is a new currency, and genuine creativity doesn't need a Hollywood budget to conquer the world. A kid in Ohio with nothing but an iPhone could become more famous than a traditional Hollywood actor. A 6-second joke could travel the world before a television show could even get approved by network executives. The influencer economy, now worth hundreds of billions of dollars globally, was born in those looping videos that seemed so simple and disposable at the time. The cruelest and most ironic part of Vine's entire story is that it created the very thing that ultimately killed it. Vine invented the influencer from scratch. It showed the world that social media fame was real, valuable, and transferable across platforms. Then it watched helplessly as its own creations took that hard-won fame to platforms that actually knew how to nurture and monetize it properly. Vine built the rocket, taught an entire generation how to fly it, and then couldn't figure out how to keep them from launching to other planets that offered better fuel and clearer skies. Twitter's failure wasn't in creating Vine in the first place. That was genuinely inspired. Its failure was in fundamentally misunderstanding what Vine had actually created. They thought they had simply bought a video app with a clever gimmick. They had actually built an entire generation of media moguls who would reshape entertainment for decades to come, and then they let them walk right out the door without so much as a proper goodbye. Today, Vine exists only in nostalgic compilations on YouTube, in occasional tweets from people who remember, and in Remember When conversations among millennials who grew up with it. The app itself is gone. The stars are scattered to every corner of the internet. But the culture it created, the influencer economy, the dominance of short-form video, the revolutionary idea that anyone with phone and courage can become famous, that lives on stronger than ever before. Vine didn't just die a quiet death in the tech graveyard. It sacrificed itself so that TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts could live and thrive in ways its creators never imagined. It was the brilliant, beautiful, doomed prototype, the app that taught the internet how to make stars, and in doing so, ensured that the internet would never need Vine again. And somewhere in the endless digital archive of the internet, a 6-second loop is still playing, still looping, still waiting for someone to watch it one more time before it fades into the beautiful nothing from which it came.